Champions are not born, they are forged, tempered and shaped by the fires of competition. Each year, the nation's best amateur racers enter the flames of the Sports Car Club of America Runoffs, a single, winner-take-all event. This year, the Runoffs returns to Road America, one of the world's greatest and most challenging tracks. Over 500 drivers will take the green for the 48th annual Runoffs. Only 28 will emerge as national champions. The SCCA Runoffs, next on Speedcast TV.
As you can see, the T1 cars are pulling out behind me. A little bit of information down here from the grid. Number one, the person on pole with this guys up front, there's going to be two groups starting, as you know. Scott Tucker in that beautiful Porsche 911. You know, we asked, how do we actually describe STO? We were talking that about in the booth. One of the bridge mechanics came up with the perfect term. It's a bits class. That means you take a bit of this and a bit of that and you put it together. And of course, that's why, my gosh, I mean, you have a Porsche, a Viper, and a BMW, even a Mitsubishi making up the top four. Now, going back to someone we know very well in T1, good old Tom Slow. Listen to this, guys. This morning, he found out that the rear setup had a toe-in of 3/4 of an inch that he's been running all weekend long in testing and qualifying. Watch him make up some time when he straightens out the rear wheels.
Yeah, that's going to be key, clearly. And it's just a fascinating group. T1, basically, a quick way to describe this would be a class where World Challenge GT machinery can run, even though a little bit more advanced. STO, I like the bits. I think that's a great way to describe it. Another way is a catch-all class. If you've got a car that simply doesn't fit anywhere else in the SCCA national class lexicon, maybe it's a regional class that is not applicable for national racing, you can run it in STO if it's got big horsepower. If it's got less, we have a race coming up later called STU where these cars can run. But certainly in T1 chip and in STO, we're talking huge grunt.
Yeah, the cars are awesome. I mean, just seeing them roll off the grid, I mean, how cool of a race is going to be with Corvettes. Basically, T1 seems to be cleared with every Corvette except one Viper. And then stepping in the STO, you got your ACRX, your M3, Corvette, Evo, I mean, Mustangs, and a 996 Porsche that looked awesome. Do you see that car?
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's Scott Tucker, who's the defending champion in the T1 category, who's not defending this year. Let's give you the starting lineup, by the way. For T1, there will be a split start, T1 in front of STO. And your pole sitter in T1 is John Buttermore, the number 52 Hoosier Stop Tech Brake Corvette. Second is the gentleman John Bizignano was talking about, number 97 Tom Slow out of Newbury, Ohio, in the Hutter Racing Engines Hoosier Tired Chevy Corvette. Third qualifier, the number 50 of Mike McGinley from Overland Park, Kansas, in the Superior Chevrolet Corvette. Number 4, Mike Pettiford, who's got a huge number of runoff starts. He's Louisville, Colorado, in the Go For It Racing School Chevy Corvette. Starting fifth will be number 73, Dave Saunders in the Phoenix Performance Chevy Corvette. He's out of Exton, Pennsylvania. Starting sixth, number 23, Ole Thordarson out of Trabuco Canyon, California, in the Alvaca Networks Chevy Corvette. Starting seventh, number 22, Tim Hund in the Old Dominion Metals, the lone Dodge Viper. Then starting in eighth, number 2, Mike Wasek out of Glen Ellen, Illinois, in the Air Max Heating and Air Conditioning Corvette. Then the number 62 of Dave Kohler out of Spring, Texas, in the Over 50 Racing Vet. Starting 10th, the number 79 of Cal Kelly in the Huntington Beach, California, UPR.com Apex Corvette. And 11th and final in the field, number 82, Norman Betts out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, in the Total Performance and Hoosier Corvette. Now, starting behind this group in the split start will be STO, led by the defending T1 champion, and your pole sitter, number 55, Scott Tucker, in that Microsoft Porsche 996 Turbo that you were talking about. Starting second will be the number 40 of David Pintarek, who's the defending T1 national champ out of Canfield, Ohio, in the Kreider Racing Carbotech entry. He is the defending STO champ, although it wasn't a national championship class. We'll explain that. Starting third will be number 70, Joe Koenig, in the Drywall Art Hoosier BMW. Starting fourth, 96, Jerry Onks in the Willwood Brakes Vet Sport Chevy Corvette. Starting in fifth will be number 34, Marty Grand, in that AMS Performance Hoosier Mitsubishi Evo. Starting sixth to 93 of Sean Maloney in the Corvette. We'll get back to the rest of the STO grid in just a minute because T1 is coming up to get the green for the first of 24 national championship races here at the 48th annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Pace car is in, and the field coming up. Now, last year there was a huge crash at the start, and it's decimated the T1 field. A lot of cars not able to make it this year. But watch Tucker. He's got that Porsche on the inside. Check that. That is, of course, John Buttermore, the pole sitter. And actually, we've got STO starting in front, so this is a bit of a change-up. That is Tucker, and that's that Porsche. And, man, when that thing gets on the power curve, it absolutely launches. But look at Joe Koenig in the BMW coming up to challenge as he ducks down underneath Pintarek and the Viper. They're side by side at the exit. And now sweeping down into turn 3, Koenig has slotted into that second spot, Chip.
Yeah, I tell you what, when that green flag dropped, that Porsche took off. And, it was interesting to see the M3. He made a great run on the Viper, and looks like the Viper fell back to. I thought he was going to take the lead. Now he's in third place.
Absolutely.
And
now,
T1.
here's our start in T1. That is Buttermore with Slow alongside. Then the blue Corvette of McGinley inside of that second row. They are still side by side down into turn 1. Slow trying to force the issue. Now decides the better of it. Tucks in behind, slots in behind Buttermore. Nice move by McGinley. And looked like Pettiford running a little wide, but able to hang on to it. And then that yellow Corvette of Dave Saunders. But up front, your pole sitter, John Buttermore, already starting to open it up a bit.
Yeah, he is. But, this 97 car's definitely got his mirrors full, as you can see. The blue Corvette's definitely looking for a window here to get up front and start putting pressure on that leader.
Yeah, McGinley's obviously looking very racy right off the get-go here. And the Dodge Viper of Hyundai had qualified up in the 7th spot. Looks like he dropped well back at the start. And look at this move. McGinley is in it. Oh! And off the outside is Saunders running way wide in that number 73. Only lost one position, but he was trying to take a run at Pettiford in that black and yellow bet. Couldn't get it done as Buttermore leads. Now, and this is that section you're talking about, turn 7. A downhill sweeper off camber. Tricky little piece of real estate.
I tell you what, it is fast, and there's a lot of curbing on the inside. It's hard to use when the car has a lowered suspension, but there is track out on the outside, and you can carry a lot of speed going down to the brake zone. It's a great spot to carry momentum. It's only about 1 or 2 mile an hour to get up the side and outbrake your competitor.
And now into the legendary carousel, which is just building speed. It slowly loses elevation, and you just continue to build speed, get quicker and quicker. And then facing them right now, here you are, folks. Your first time, if you've never seen this, through the kink. They call it a kink. It is a corner, but it is wicked quick. And as you can see, as McGinley dropping the left sides there.
Oh,
and
no.
We've got a big shunt. That is Joe Koenig in the number 70 BMW in the STO category, and I believe that is also that's Jerry Onks, and that's a shame. Onks was one of the top runners last year in STO, and he too has been involved. You can see a pretty solid hit, Chip.
Oh man, that's an ugly hit. Looks like they're judging by the Corvette has some front end damage, and the BMW has side impact damage right in the driver's door. So I hope we get a replay. We'll see what happened, but it was 2 top running cars.
Without a doubt, that's a tough break. Jerry Onks qualified second last year, and coming in here, he was one of the drivers eligible for what they call Super Sweep. What they call the Super Sweep Award. Jerry Onks was one of the drivers eligible for that, and we'll tell you about that in just a minute as we watch Scott Tucker just stretching things and back to this great battle at the front of the T1 category, and it didn't take long. Tom Slow, whatever the issue was that they had in the rear end, obviously the crew got that solved because he has taken a serious look already at Buttermore, and then Mike McGinley, that blue Corvette, about 3 or 4 car lengths back at this stage. The battle right now for the gold medal, pretty intense.
Yeah, it looks like double yellow came out, so I think that they're got to figure out what the tire temperatures are, because I tell you what, at 42 degrees, Greg, it takes a lap or 2 to get these tires up temperature. And again, that accident could have been just somebody getting a little too deep into braking, got loose, and got T-boned. It doesn't take much to have something happen in these cars, high-performance cars.
Well, right, and especially, as you said, cool temperatures, cool tires, grip not quite there until you warm them up just a little bit. But everybody wanting to go to the front, obviously, and get after it and get racy. So this is going to certainly bunch things up a little bit. So let's take a moment to real quick talk about the Super Sweep Award. What they've done is they've established a national points title, and it's actually the points for the national title are almost equally weighted for participation numbers as they are finished. So you can if you're running races with lots of entries, even if you don't finish quite as well as somebody else, you can do well there. And what happens is you come in here, if you've won one of the national points titles in your class, if you have won one of the 9 Super Sweep Nationals, there's 6 that are called the B.F. Goodrich Super Tour, which is a very special event, but then there's 3 others. There's 1 in each of the 9 divisions. If you win that, if you win the national points title in your class and you win your division points, You come in here, you have a shot at winning the Super Sweep. It's the most difficult achievement in all of SCCA club racing, but to do it, you've got to achieve all of that, but you also have to be able to win a national championship here at the Runoffs, which is difficult enough. So talk about piling on.
Yeah. Nationals really become a big competition. You know, I was at a Mazda thing last night, and it showed about how many hands run in regional, and it was like 4 hands. Yeah. Everyone else runs nationals.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge amount of people that are running. You know, I thought people ran nationals and regional. Turns out a lot of guys are strictly national guys.
Absolutely, and you know, there are some classes that are national only that do not translate into regional, and vice versa.
Right.
So, you know, the normal thing is you would start off, you do your driving school, you'd start racing on a novice license, then you start racing regionals, and then if you want to, and you've got the car that will fit in a national class, you step up, if you will. Make no mistake about it, in some of the regional-only classes, there are some immensely talented drivers that just have chosen to concentrate on the regionals. But it's the nationals. Across the country, there are 9 divisions we talked about. There's 13 areas. Some of the divisions are big. They've split them up. You've got 70 national races. Each year are held within those 9 divisions. And then, of course, there's hundreds of regions throughout the country that make up SCCA. There you get a look at one of the corner workers down there. He's got the yellows out for the full course as well as yellows for the incident. And this is something, too. It's not just a national championship showcase event for the entries and the drivers, and there's over 500 entered. But it's also for all of the workers in the Sports Car Club of America, which are volunteers, and there's almost as many volunteers here as there are entries at this point, from all of the specialties that have to be staffed. It starts in registration, it ends in tech, and you've got all of those within. Out on the corners, those are the obvious ones you always see in the white. There's some 130 flaggers and communicators out and around the track that are the eyes and ears of race control. So this is a big event for anybody who's an SCCA member, not just the competitors.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the workers, we really wouldn't have people to keep us safe. And, you know, like an incident like that, if you had nobody watching, what would happen? Just come around the corner and be like, oh my gosh, what just happened? But, you know, those guys, they're aware, and I've seen them stand in, whether it's snowing, like, you know, flurrying, raining, cold. It's 42 degrees out there. I mean, I'm sure these people are very dedicated, and they're out there bundled up in their white outfits.
They are a dedicated group, that is for sure, and it's all volunteer, and that is very special indeed. While we're under this full course caution, we're going to take just a moment and take care of some business. It is great to have all of you with us here early this morning for this first event of some 24 races that we'll be bringing to you here at the 48th Annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs. The race for the championship in T1 and STO will continue right after this. This portion of the 48th Annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs is being brought to you by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, by Volkswagen, Das Auto, by Blackmagic Car Care Products, and by Gumout, cleaning since 1945.
What do you drive? Is it inspiring? Was it built by a behemoth car maker? Or insightful craftsmen obsessing over the details, building better cars for a discerning few? Are you one of the few who care about what you drive and how it drives? We're with you because we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner helps restore lost horsepower and fuel economy. Just pour an entire bottle of Gumout Regain into your tank before your next fill-up. Powerful cleaning additives attach themselves to fuel system carbon deposits and safely and effectively lift them away. That way, deposits burn up, then pass through the exhaust. Gumout Regain additives even leave a protective barrier to help keep new deposits from forming for up to 3,000 miles. Get a bottle of Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner today for reduced engine hesitation, surging and knocking, as well as restored fuel economy and lost horsepower, all within one fill-up.
Okay, it's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You treat the freeway on-ramp like your own personal racetrack, and you love the smell of burning rubber. Well, good news, Speed Junkie. The Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and 2,000 events across the country, the SCCA has all the wheel-spinning, engine-revving excitement you can handle. Want to dance on the edge of control? In SCCA Solo, you'll learn the blacktop two-step with an army of cones trying to trip you up. If slinging mud is your thing, check out SCCA Rallycross, where power slides and rooster tails are the name of the game. And if wheel-to-wheel competition is what you crave, SCCA Club Racing lets you chase the checkered flag on America's toughest racetracks. Join the Sports Car Club of America today and feed your obsession.
Road trip, buddy. Let's put some music on.
Welcome to Learning Spanish in the Car.
You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, this is good.
Vámonos.
Vámonos.
Gracias.
Gracias.
13 horas en el carro sin parar y no traes música. Mira, entra y cómprame unas papitas.
Get up to 795 miles per tank in the all-new Volkswagen Passat TDI Clean Diesel.
Welcome back to Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. We continue under a full course caution here in the first of our 24 national championship races to be held. This is T1 and STO. Here's what we're looking at. Now, this is the T1 running order at this stage of the race. And by the way, I think we could probably not worry about the lap count right now. I'm sure this is going to go to what will be a timed event. But it's John Buttermore, Tom Slow in those two black Corvettes, then Mike McGinley, number 50, the blue Corvette, the 41 of Pettiford, the black Corvette with the yellow highlights, then the yellow vet, 73, Dave Sanders. That's your top five, followed by Thorderson, Betts, Wazak, Kelly, and Tim Hund in that silver Viper. So that's your current run order in T1. STO is Scott Tucker out in front of David Pintarek, who's the defending class winner. Kashadurian, Marty Grand in that Evo, and Joe Koenig in that BMW, but of course he was involved with Jerry Onks in that incident. So right now the STO class is down to just the four competitors. A couple of the competitors that had qualified in STO were not able to take the green, so that represented a little bit of a problem there. So once again, the number's down just a little bit. Looked like as they went through turn 12 that time that most of the cleanup had been completed, so hopefully we'll be able to see a green here in pretty short order.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, these T1 guys are ready to. I mean, these guys are running fourth and fifth. They're seeing that podium right in front of them.
Well, that's the motivation, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be close. And the interesting thing is now this is not a split restart like the start was split. So you've got right behind there, you see that Mitsubishi Evo just heading down, and those two T1 Corvettes, and then the blue one of McGinley, then Pettiford, then that beautiful yellow Corvette sitting right there as well of Sanders, and the rest of that field. And Ole Thordarson right there, that lime yellow, if that's the right word, lime green. It's yellowish tint to it. Anyway, very obvious Corvette as they work up and underneath the bridge here at turn 6. And it looks like they're starting to pick some speed up, so maybe they're anticipating getting back to green, starting to build some heat in those tires again, get those tires cleaned off. There you see the time clock. We have just over 12 minutes left in this race. It is definitely a timed event at this point. Now, the question is when do we see the lights go out on that pace car? And Chip, after a very long caution like this, you didn't get a lot of racing to start with, so you may never really have the tires up to temp anyway, nor the brakes and that sort of thing. Now you've had this long caution where you're just trundling around in these cool temperatures. You've got to be a little bit careful on this restart. Lights are out on the pace car, so it's coming up.
Yeah, we know. The thing is, it went from a 40-minute race where you're trying to be take your time, get your car ready, and then anticipate when you're going to make your move and on a guy ahead of you, or how you're going to, if you're leading, you're just trying to control your car and say, okay, I got to lead, and just going to maintain it, not try to drive the wheels off it. Now we got, what, you said 12 minutes?
Yeah.
To me, that's a sprint.
Oh, you bet it is.
You're talking about a 2 or 3 lap sprint if we go green here. So these guys are going to be, they're going to be pushing.
Game on. Lights are out, as we said, in the pace car, and we're going for it. Some very, very serious scrubbing back there, trying to build some heat. It always makes me a little nervous when I see guys scrubbing tires through the cane, even though it's on a pace lap or a caution lap. But here we go, down into Canada Corner once again. And as you talked about, massive overtaking area, fastest part of the track. A lot can go on here, and that's what we're watching for right now. This field is...
Well, I just looked here with the Mitsubishi Evo and the BMW M3. It looks like their times are slightly slower than the T1, so this is going to play into the T1 field as they kind of start passing the STO cars. So we're going to see what happens here. It's going to be mixed up here with the restart. Looks like the T1 cars are laying back a little bit.
Probably a smart move. You don't want to run into them too quick here. But, boy, Tucker is all over the back of that pace car. He is anxious. And there's your Evo. You just put it laying back again. Oh, and look at this. We've already got him out of line for T1 as they came out of that. That was slow. He's anxious. Pace car is in. Here we go. Watch for the green. And it flies. We're finally back to racing. Tucker gets the launch and starts to ease away over Pintarek right now. then here we go.
Oh, wow.
Look at that move. Buttermore around the outside of the third and fourth in STO. And here comes Slow right with him. McGinley trying to get by as well. Pettiford couldn't quite get it done. And that is the number 2 in the T1 category of Mike Wazak out of Glen Ellen, Illinois, the Air Max Heating and Air Conditioning vet, trying to work his way up too. But up front, it is certainly Tucker got a good start, but boy, Pintarek is not letting him get away.
No, he's basically tucked in that draft, and I think what he's going to do is lap or two. He's got to figure out what he has for him. If he has straight line, maybe he can catch a draft and get a nice outbreaking move.
Here we go, down into turn 5. There's that
now
heavy
he's showing
braking.
his nose.
Oh boy, he's showing some red to Tucker's mirror, that's for sure. Now that climb up to 6. Tricky braking area here, isn't it, because the car gets so light.
Yeah, you definitely have to brake earlier than you think, because you get a little bit where you think. When they come up over the hill, the car gets light. You can't get the weight on the front tires, and then so basically brake early, so that way the car sets. Otherwise, you miss your turn in, and that's an important turn.
Better, so there you brake early and light rather than late and heavy.
Yep.
So, okay.
You just brake early, and then as you come up over the hill and the car settles, you press the brake a little bit harder, and it basically sets the car real nice. Because when you go through that turn, it leads you into the next really fast sweeper, which in transition turns you into the late braking of turn 8.
So we've got that battle up front. Oh, and we've got an off here. That is the 82 Norman Betts, the Total Performance Racing Hoosier Tire Z06. And he's gone off and looks like he smote the wall. A pretty good blow there. He gave a wave out the window saying, I'm fine. Pocketbook's not, but he's okay. But, you know, you're going for a national championship, last race of the year. And oh, look at this. Pintarek showed the nose. And Tucker kind of gave him a little block. I don't know that was so much defending. He wasn't already there. As soon as the nose was shown, he kind of fainted over. I have the stewards watching on that one just a little bit. But Pintarek showing that he's not going to give this one to Tucker easy.
Tucker's running defensive line. Come on the front straight.
Now, this is just pure grunt up this hill. We'll see who's got it. That Porsche, obviously, is a twin turbo, and it's once it spools up, it's strong. I mean,
wow.
That V10 Viper, you know that's got some power in it, but that Porsche is able to pull him just a little bit. Now, under braking.
Okay.
Here comes Pintarek. This time he's on the inside, but he's in the grass. He manages to save it. Obviously has to breathe out of it, and a nice over-under move by Scott Tucker, and Tucker back in front, heading down into turn 3. But boy, Pintarek, that was a sketchy moment.
He had a little 2 wheels in the grass there, Greg. I don't know about that.
Nice recovery, though, but it obviously cost him a little bit of that speed. But he was obviously willing to go in deep on the brakes soon. Now we'll watch as they come down under the Sargento Bridge, now down into turn 5, and you can see Tucker definitely running a bit defensive. And Pintarek, boy, he was very deep on the brakes again and had to squeeze him awfully hard not to get into the back of Tucker as they head up under the bridge through turn 6. And one of the things about the Porsche, and obviously this one, the 996 twin turbo, has got that great power in the engine bay, but also Porsches tend to be very, very slippery, very good aerodynamically as well.
Yes, I was just checking to see what the lap times were to see if what the difference was of Tucker and the Viper to see, because it seems like the Porsche's got great power, but the Viper is just, the braking is incredible. And I'm not sure if he's in the draft, but you can tell that the Porsche's got more grunt. But
the last lap for both of them were 103.67 in terms of time. So that gives you an idea. They're running very, very identical times. Obviously, they're one stronger in one spot, but not by much.
I tell you what, it looks like the Viper might have another run here towards the Canada corner. Tried it last lap.
You can hear him chirping the tires, so they are on the brakes as hard as possible. Out of Canada corner, that's the nickname here for turn 12. A lot of these turns have names as opposed to just numbers. Up through 13, used to be called the Billy Mitchell Bridge turn. Now it's just the Billy Mitchell corner, and
no
into turn 4, Saul Bridge at this point. And then this huge corner, you've got to get out of 14 because look at that is at one steep hill you are climbing.
Yeah, it looks like that Viper was like, I'm going to tuck in behind this Porsche and do all I can to get this late braking, but he's a little far behind to make that dive bomb move. It's just a low percentage of that gap.
Coming up on 5 minutes remaining, and again, Pintarek's going to go for it, heading down into turn 1. This time he's there. He got squeezed. He got a little sideways. I think, again, I saw a little puff of dirt as he had those rights over the apex curbing. And, boy, Tucker's racing him awfully hard right now. And Pintarek now has to fall back, regroup, and attack again. And we're coming up on only 5 minutes remaining in this run for our first couple of national championships at the 48th annual Runoffs.
I think Tucker anticipated the outbreaking move was in more the middle of the track, and Pintarek was like, I'm going to go even deeper on the inside.
We're going to show you the margin back to the T1 battle right now, and here we go. And here comes Buttermore as he from pole. He has opened up the margin now and is running 3rd overall, leading in the T1 category as he accelerates up and out of turn 5 and up the hill. And he's running fairly lonely right now in that category. It's still Tom Slow, the number 97 in second, that blue Corvette number 50, McGinley third, Pettiford and Sanders completing your top 5. But Buttermore, he has just been absolutely hooked up. He won the June sprints here, so he obviously, which is one of the most prestigious of those 70 national races that you run each year, and he won that, and usually you get a huge field of competitors that show up, a lot of them runoffs bound as well. So if he won there, you know he was going to be good at the runoffs. Was he going to be this good where he's gapping a guy with the talent of a Tom Slow? That's impressive.
But what's impressive to me is the top 4 cars are all 24/7, 24/7, 24/8, 24/7. And it just all depends. Lap time's a lap time, but if you're racing, Buttermore hasn't had any running really block or run a defensive line, so he's running the qualifying laps, and everybody else is probably fighting. But I mean, just to see that once they got an open gap here, everybody's running within a tenth.
You just saw 2nd, 3rd, now 4th in T1, so there's gaps. It's not huge gaps, and some of that was they had to work through the STO field.
Yep.
And that's where maybe Tom Slow lost a little bit of that time because, as you pointed out, the lap times awfully close for all of these competitors. As we watch them now, here we go, up and underneath. Well, I say underneath because I'm still thinking the bridge is there. Into turn 13, now 14. That is Tom Slow as he gets on the hammer. That Hutter Racing Engines Hoosier Chevy Corvette. There is your 3rd spot in the form of Mike McGinley, then Pettiford, and then a little ways back now is Dave Sanders in the Phoenix Performance entry. But there's your margin. Buttermore, here he comes. Now back at the front overall in STO, and Pintarek is right there again as they come out of turn 3 and start that long run down into turn 5. And Pintarek's closer now than I've seen him in the last couple of laps. Not quite close enough, and again Tucker dissuades him a little bit by starting in the middle of the track. And Pintarek this time doesn't run up on him quite so hard, so maybe Pintarek sizing him up again because we're running out of time.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's maybe just conserving his tires. I mean, he was doing some late braking, and he could be just maybe taking a lap just to cool the tires down, and maybe he already thinks about there's a spot where I could probably make my move as long as I get a good run out instead of showing my nose often.
Well, that's the other thing that we really haven't talked about. One of the things in these classes where you've got all these different manufacturers, different types of cars involved, is there is equalization, and it comes down to generally more power, you have more weight.
Yep.
You may have a little bit more tire, but with that extra weight, you've got to accelerate that weight, you've got to slow it down. It's hard on tires, it's hard on brakes. And the Porsche, a little bit less power maybe, so a little lighter and a little bit more aero effective. So that's maybe why we're seeing that Porsche be good. But boy, did Pintarek get through the kink that time. This might be it. He is close. He's close enough to maybe get a little bit of a tow. Now let's see what happens. There goes Tucker defensive again. Pintarek going to swing up the outside. Look for the over-under. See if he can do it. Tucker tried to defend. Pintarek couldn't quite get turned back underneath him. And that was one of those cases where Tucker actually just put his car right where Pintarek wanted to go, it looked like.
Yeah, I think he saw him coming, too. I mean, we definitely said he was closer than he's been.
Yeah.
So, like I said, when he got through the kink, he got a great run out of there. We could tell that right away, and he was closer than he had been in prior laps.
Well, we should be coming up on this lap and maybe one more. I'm watching the start stand for any kind of indication that there's one to go. And so I think it might be this and one more maybe, but it's getting close at this stage. And Tucker continues. Now that was about 3 car lengths he had when he got on the brakes coming in there. But boy, did Tucker, he got way tight to the inside on that corner, and Pintarek just carried a ton of speed through the exit. You saw him run wide, Chip, but he did make up a little bit of ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first lap that actually didn't go side by side.
Yeah.
So they put on a good show here. It seems like obviously they're battling for the top spot, and neither of them want that silver medal.
And here we go, down into turn 5 again. This time Tucker looks like he's got a little bit of a margin built up this time. Pintarek closes it up. Here we go back a little bit into the order.
That's still an STO M3.
That is That is the 0-2 that we're looking at right there. This is some of that STO battling at this point. The 0-2 is Gary Khachaturian in that beautiful BMW. And that is the 2, and that is one of, I remember we saw him, Mike Wozniak, trying to make that move on the restart, and he's just been kind of mired here trying to work his way up through the pack and get around Khachaturian in that fall line BMW as they come up and run the exit at turn 1. All right, we're getting a report that time will have elapsed, so we expect a checker this time by. And that other vet in that mix that we were watching was Kyle Kelly, by the way. So this is it. They're on their final lap. And Pintarek through the kink once again, very close. And these guys have radios. They'll know this is going to be the last lap. So this could be very fraught. If Pintarek's got anything, he's got to go. Tucker going very defensive. And now Pintarek trying to trap him. Now cuts down at Tucker. Runs a little wide. Pintarek now tries to cut underneath. Cannot get it done. Up through 13. The margin, 3 car lengths. One more corner to go. Here they come on the brakes, and it's not heavy braking here. Carry everything you got. Make the run. Pintarek on the gas. Tucker, though, looked like he got a very strong exit. The run up the hill, unless something happens, it looks like Tucker is going to win his 3rd national championship in a row. 2 in Turing, 1, and now STO for Scott Tucker. But boy, you got to give kudos certainly to Dave Pintarek for an absolutely fraught chase. He never let Tucker rest. Now, here is your T1 leader going for the gold in this national championship run from the pole. What a drive by John Buttermore on the Hoosier Tires Carbotech StopTech Chevy Corvette. Makes the run up the hill. He got through that STO field very cleanly and is all alone and will be our gold medalist in T1. We expect it to be Slow and McGinley completing the medal podium here. But look at the margin, Chip, that Buttermore opened up. Here comes Tom Slow, and indeed, there is McGinley bringing it through to complete the medal podium in T1. Again, in STO, it's Scott Tucker, David Pintarek, and I think the 0-2 of Gary Khachaturian in the STO category will be the silver medalist. So obviously we had that big caution, and that was an issue for that long break. But once we got back to racing, certainly in STO, that was a corker.
I don't know what would have happened. It would have been a big change if those guys would have kept racing like that for 40 minutes. I mean, they would have burnt tires up and been trying to outbrake each other. It would have been interesting, but, you know, both guys knew with 12 minutes their cars were solidly going to finish.
Right.
And they put a great show on, and Pintarek put a great drive on, trying everything he had.
Yeah,
I mean, he gave it all.
Absolutely, and you look at, this category, the STO category, certainly the rules makers it's not a job I would ever wish on anybody, where you have to take all these, such a wide, I mean, you're talking about a flat 6 turbo up against a V10 and V8s and all this kind of stuff, and you see at the end of it all just how close they ran together. They really do an amazing job equalizing these cars. And, the thing is, you got to get everybody a chance. Then it's up to the driver, it's up to the setup on the car. Some tracks are going to be stronger, some's not so much. But if you get them close, these rules makers have done a great job, and for John Buttermore, that was just flat out a great piece of driving.
Yeah, he didn't have, he basically did great on the restart. He did a really great job of laying back, and he made sure that he got a great run and passed those guys on the outside. And that way you have to worry about getting held up. He could have got held up by going into turn 1, and then maybe Tom could have gotten by him, and then you never know what Slow could have done. Maybe Slow, with the lap times, Slow could have got in front of him, and Buttermore maybe would have had nothing for him. You just never know.
Exactly.
It's how it played out.
Traffic giveth and traffic taketh away, and that's part of the game in multi-class racing, certainly. And meanwhile, Scott Tucker, boy, what a run he's had, as we talked about, with all of the other achievements he's put together. He won 2 consecutive national championships in T1 in a Ferrari F430, and he's run that this year as well. But when this was announced as a combined class, he decided to run this beautiful Porsche and gets a championship in STO. So not a bad 3 years when you put together 3 national championships.
Not at all. I mean, people spend a long time. I think I talked to somebody, I don't know what his name is, did 13 years.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Trying to win one of those.
Oh, yeah. We won't go any further into that because Jim Trado, I'm sure, will bring that up in a couple races' time here.
Yeah.
But enough said. There you go. There's Scott Tucker. There is Pintarek. And so I got to ask you, Tucker was aggressive in his defense. You think it was within the bounds?
Hey, I think he did a great job. Yep. I think he saw the Vipers coming, and he said, "I'm going to stay right in the middle, and I'm going to, you're going to have to take the inside." So,
yeah,
very, just a great race.
Yeah, well, and the thing of it is, when it comes to the defense, you don't have to make it easy.
No.
Obviously, but you got to make it possible.
One move.
Got to overget you. Exactly.
Make that one
and,
move.
And he had one move, and that was that. So in just a moment, we expect to be able to send it down to Mr. John Bizignano to get some interviews and visit with some of the people down there in that victory circle area. By the way, a huge thanks to the SCCA workers and volunteers down on the grid that are working with us at the end of the races to make sure that we get all the competitors we need to for interviews and the like before they send them off for the official victory circle celebrations. And as soon as we get word, we'll send it down to John Bizignano. But everybody enjoying the moment for sure at this point. What'll happen, we'll talk to our 2 class winners, then we'll send them out for that very special lap of honor where they get their, usually they'll pile every crew member they possibly can in that cockpit, and one of them will be holding the checkered flag as they go out and celebrate a national championship. So I guess we got word. John Bizignano is ready. So, Biz, you got a couple of happy national champions to talk to.
Between these two right now, it just shows that you don't have to have a huge class to have some great racing. Scott's telling our number 2 man how fast his car is, but Bonnie's going to come in. Bonnie's going to come in and get the gold medal. Scott Tucker. Scott, I've got to ask you, I'll tell you, there weren't a lot of laps in that race, but the laps you had were certainly intense.
Yeah, it was a great race. David, there wasn't a lap there. He had pressure on me everywhere, and he drove a hell of a race. I'm really very impressed with his. He pushed me to the limit, and it was a good 5 or 6 lap sprint race.
When you're talking about limits, here you're all kinds of pro racing, different cars, maybe 20 weekends a year. What does it mean to you to win an SCCA championship here at the Runoffs, a gold medal around your neck?
It's an incredible achievement and accomplishment, and something that I'm very proud of, and something that we've worked very, very hard for. I've been running in the Runoffs since 2006, and none of these championships are easy to win. This is, to me, this is a pro championship, and I'm very proud of my guys that put together a car, and we worked our asses off.
Well, Scott, congratulations. A beautifully prepared car and a wonderful drive. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, listen, we're going to try and find the T2 driver here that certainly came in first, right behind us. And, of course, John made it look, I can never say John made it look easy, but John, you made it look easy, man. Pole position, you pulled away from everyone. What was the clue to your speed?
Yeah, we've been here a couple of times, John, before, and led laps the last 2 years, but the wrong ones. So luckily we got the right ones here, and the car's consistency has been great. Here you need good brakes. So we got Stop Tech and Carbo Tech involved. We got Hoosier, the best tires in the business, and then this Chevrolet Corvette, General Motors, best cars in the world.
Let's see about best. Where's Bonnie with your gold medal? Bonnie's coming in for the second time this weekend, number 2 out of 24. Congratulations, John, on a great run. You made it look easy, but I know how much hard work went into this. Congratulations.
Thanks, Biz. Yeah, it's a big team effort. I want to thank all my crew guys, Matt Carson especially, Christy, my beautiful fiance, is taking pictures behind you. My dad's back from working in China, so it's a big family effort we've always had behind this, and this is kind of the big payoff of years of work, and God, it feels great.
Look at that smile, guys. That says it all. Congratulations.
Absolutely, Biz. It is a very, very special moment indeed when you can get that gold medal draped around your neck. And again, second and third as well. You get a medal here at the Runoffs. That is an achievement. But this is the moment you live for. We just talked about it, Chip. That crew, as many as you can get piled into that car, and they hand you that national champions flag, and you set out for a lap of honor. And it's a long one here, so you really get to.
It is a long one, and hope they don't get any bad emails without wearing a helmet.
I think the rules, the officials understand that one and just say have some fun with it, and they certainly have earned it, to be sure. Especially Tucker, boy, I'll tell you, he was absolutely gracious in talking about what a great drive Pintark put in, and well earned.
He did. He was a professional, very professional driven. There was not any contact with the two of them at paint swap. I mean, they're just two professionals out there that did a really great job, and David made him work for it.
He did, without a doubt. You can see the official margin there at only 7/10 of a second, so that's about as close as it can get. Kashadurian in that BMW, he had a great start because he was back at about 6th, and jumped up into that third spot and held it throughout, but you can see he was back just a little bit of the overall finish. And then Marty Grand in the Mitsubishi, and then Koenig and Onksa in the incident, and a couple of the other drivers not able to take the green. Then in T1, here is your unofficial results at this stage. Buttermore and over Tom Slow. You can see a little bit more of a margin there. Then McGinley, then Pettiford, then Dave Sanders completing your top 5. Then Thordarson, then Hund, and he was running in the lone Viper amongst all of the vets. Then Wazrak, Kelly, and David Kohler. And that wraps up the entirety of the field in that category. And by the way, I did want to throw out one little comment here. This was the 35th start in the runoffs for Mike Pettiford. Now, he does that in a variety of classes, but still in all, that's a lot of racing in the runoffs, and you got to qualify for those runoffs in that category every year. Pretty amazing story in that Go For It Racing Schools Corvette by Mike Pettiford. All right, as we are watching Mr. Tucker out on his lap of celebration, John Buttermore will be sending out shortly on his for T1. We're going to step away for a moment, but when we come back, we'll have more coverage from the 48th Annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs. This portion of the 48th Annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs is being brought to you by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, by Volkswagen, Das Auto, by Black Magic Car Care Products, and by Gumout, cleaning since 1945.
What do you drive? Is it inspiring? Was it built by a behemoth car maker? Or insightful craftsmen obsessing over the details, building better cars for a discerning few? Are you one of the few who care about what you drive and how it drives? We're with you because we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner helps restore lost horsepower and fuel economy. Just pour an entire bottle of Gumout Regain into your tank before your next fill-up. Powerful cleaning additives attach themselves to fuel system carbon deposits and safely and effectively lift them away. That way, deposits burn up, then pass through the exhaust. Gumout Regain additives even leave a protective barrier to help keep new deposits from forming for up to 3,000 miles. Get a bottle of Gumout Regain Complete Fuel System Cleaner today for reduced engine hesitation, surging and knocking, as well as restored fuel economy and lost horsepower, all within one fill-up.
Okay, it's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You treat the freeway on-ramp like your own personal racetrack, and you love the smell of burning rubber. Well, good news, Speed Junkie. The Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and 2,000 events across the country, the SCCA has all the wheel-spinning, engine-revving excitement you can handle. Want to dance on the edge of control? In SCCA Solo, you'll learn the blacktop two-step with an army of cones trying to trip you up. If slinging mud is your thing, check out SCCA Rallycross, where power slides and rooster tails are the name of the game. And if wheel-to-wheel competition is what you crave, SCCA Club Racing lets you chase the checkered flag on America's toughest racetracks. Join the Sports Car Club of America today and feed your obsession.
Road trip, buddy. Let's put some music on.
Welcome to Learning Spanish in the Car.
You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, this is good.
Vámonos.
Vámonos.
Gracias.
Gracias.
13 horas en el carro sin parar y no traes música. Mira, entra y cómprame unas papitas.
Get up to 795 miles per tank in the all-new Volkswagen Passat TDI Clean Diesel.